Like many people who internalize negative criticism, my coping mechanism was to shut off the emotional center of my brain. I numbed out my emotions because it was just easier than feeling all of that pain. And as a result, I never really learned how to effectively communicate my emotions. So what ended up happening was whenever I would feel anxiety or frustration or shame, it would just come out as anger. And that anger gave me a sense of control because people would walk on eggshells around me and they were careful to make sure they weren't going to upset me more, which made me feel in control, but the truth was I was out of control. And as you might expect, eventually my anger became more and more of a liability. And whenever I would get into conflict or whenever I would make a mistake, it was just reinforcing that tape inside of my head. I would say to myself, you know what, I am stupid. I am unworthy. I am never going to amount to anything. And then one day I really did lose control. I was playing a game of foosball with my boss, and when he beat me, I punched him. And thankfully, he didn't end up firing me for that. He saw that I was really not doing well, and he sent me to therapy. And I'll be honest with you, I really didn't want to go because to me, it was proof that my mom was right, that I was weak and that I couldn't manage my own life. So my therapist could tell I didn't really want to be there. So she ended up handing me a rope. She explained to me, she said, Alex, this rope, it represents your life. And we're gonna be talking about your life. And every so often we're gonna come to a knot. Now these knots, they represent hard things that have happened in your life, things that have shaped who you are as a person. My job as a therapist is to give you the tools to be able to examine those knots. It's really up to you whether or not you want to unwind them. Now sometimes unwinding a knot, it's actually relatively simple. It doesn't take very much to do it. But sometimes you come to a knot and it's really emotionally difficult. But what I can tell you is that for the people who I've worked with who work hard to unwind those knots, they end up becoming the best versions of themselves. I was hooked. I was like, okay, let's do this. So we start working through my life and we start unwinding the knots. And eventually we get to the one knot that has to do with that tape that's playing inside of my unconscious.
You're stupid, you're clumsy, you're careless, you don't deserve anything, you'll never amount to anything. You're ignorant, you're incompetent, nobody likes you, nobody wants to be your friend, you're not nice enough.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, these were some really, really difficult sessions. A lot of emotions, a lot of tears. But what I saw happening was the more I confronted this tape that was inside of me, the more I started to feel those emotions that I kind of pushed out of my life, the less angry I became. And the less angry I became, something amazing happened. For the first time ever, I felt in control of my life. And so rather than allowing these knots from my past to control me, well, now I was actually the one choosing how I wanted to live my own life. And if you've never been through the process of examining the knots in your life, let me tell you that the reason why you would want to do it is because if you don't, oftentimes you're going to end up making decisions that you may not fully understand. You're going to make choices, and those choices are dictated by things from your past, and you may not fully appreciate why you made that choice, what it means to you. But when you start to work through the knots, when you're willing to undo them, well, what I've found is all of a sudden you become the captain of your own destiny. And there's nothing better than you being able to make the decisions in your own life. So no matter who you are, no matter where you've been, no matter how you feel, please know that you are loved, you are seen, and you are cared for. If by no one else, by me. My name is Alex Lang, and until next time.